a world where we are hurt, we are wounded by people. As long as we are on earth, people offend us, we get hurt. So most of the people are stuck in the pain of what happened either in the past, and pain comes from different scenarios, different things that have happened to us, coming in from maybe adverse childhood experiences, the traumas. Maybe it's coming from a disappointment, it's coming from a loss of a loved one, maybe it's a parent, it's also coming from maybe an engagement that was called off. It comes from the different things, maybe a chronic illness. So I want us to address this important subject as we come to the close of the year. And the pandemic is slowly going up. And I know a lot of us have been here because we lost our loved ones during the pandemic, and we're not even given the opportunity to mourn them. And that left pain on the inside of us. And we don't even know how to deal with pain. So I'm going to share I'm going to start by defining. I love to define things. Everything about my life is to define. Because I love, in general, it is a process or a state of being well again. But in this case, we're talking about emotional healing. What is emotional healing? So, emotional healing is the process of acknowledging, it is accepting, allowing, integrating, and processing of the painful life experiences and strong emotions. So I'm going to say that again slowly. Let's hope you've got your notebooks and your pen, because this is very important. So we looked at healing in general. Simple definition: it's a state of being well again. But then in this particular case, we're talking about emotional healing. What is emotional healing? It is a process of acknowledging, allowing, accepting, integrating, and processing painful life experiences and strong emotions. Then we're going to look on the other side, because we're looking at healing and we're looking at wholeness. What is wholeness then? It is a state of unbroken or undamaged. It is a quality of being complete as a single unit and not broken or divided, in simple terms. Why then should we talk about these things? Like I earlier alluded to, that life happens. As long as we are on earth, people will hurt us. They find that some of the things do happen to us that are beyond our control, and they never leave us the same again. And no one person ever planned to be bitter. No one person ever planned to be resentful. But this happens when we don't address the very things that hurt us, the very things that left us in a certain state. Mostly, people love to stay stuck in the pain because misery loves company. You hold on to that pain because you feel the world owes you something. Let me be clear about this. There are people that hurt us, and maybe they didn't even realize it. There are people that hurt us who will never come back to say sorry. And we're stuck in that pain for years waiting for them. We see them doing so well out there in the world, and we feel so much pain because we feel, or we tell ourselves, they need to be punished. Probably they even forgot what happened or what they need to. Maybe they won't. Maybe, let's say, like one of the other areas that won't coming is abuse. So different type of abuse. It could be sexual abuse. It could be physical abuse. We're just completing, ending the 16 days of activism against women and girls. So we live in a society, even with so much information, there is so much of the physical abuse that is going on. So that never leaves us the same. It changes the way we perceive things, the way we see ourselves, the way we see the world, and the way we just interpret things around us. And that's why I thought, let us bring this interesting, very important, cardinal topic, which is just beyond the topic. I'm a product of healing. I'm a champion of wholeness. I know what it means to be healed and made whole. I lost my parents at an early age. You had plans, I'm going to become this. Then the things that are beyond my control. They were beyond my control. It left me in pain. For me, at the pattern of like, whatever I was left in pain, to take a cycle of 5 years for me to heal. Healing is actually a personal decision. So mostly we hear people say, you heal over time. I came to find out you don't heal over time. You make a choice to get healed. You need to acknowledge that you need the healing. We have got, why do I say this? In my scope of work as a mental health coach, I deal with different people. There are people who've come in my space who have been wounded for more than 20 years. They did not attend, they did not resolve the issue. They suppressed it, thinking, oh, as time goes, I'm going to be okay. Maybe they even got married. That's a wrap to affect. I would say, if we don't address these things, they affect the way we perceive the world, we perceive ourselves, and so many, and that's the way we perceive others. It could be your friends, it could be even your loved one. So it's very, very critical that we attend to what is of importance, because this really disturbs our ideologies. There is a lie out there that we have believed, which I was saying, you heal over time. You don't heal over time. Why? I can prove this because there are people who are still like, something happened to them when they were young. The adults, they flourished, but they don't have the joy. That the pain has blinded them. It brings in so much bitterness and anger. And you know, with the heart, because with this same heart, it's the heart that you love with. It's the same. So imagine you pouring up. You cannot pour from a place of empty. You are pouring from that place. So if you are bitter, then you're pouring out bitterness. If you are hurt, you've got resentment. That's the energy that you're sending out there. And that's why people are able to pick. You may be wondering to say everything works against me. It is the energy that you are releasing because of the pain, because of the unresolved issues that you have decided to keep. Today, I want us, as we have this conversation, I'm going to talk about the different things towards the end, what pain does, the patterns that come with it, and how it affects our today living. Like I said, I'm going to share my story. So, having lost my parents in a space of 8 months, dad went, and dad, I was actually I just finished high school, and dad had this promised me to pay for my university. Then life happens. That was beyond me. I don't get to go to university like my friends. I am a person that is very passionate about school. I felt like I was really crushed. I reached a bottom end. That really hurts me to see my friends. It felt like it was the end of the world. As that wasn't enough, in a space of 8 months later, I lost my mom, who was a dear friend, who was a best friend, a woman that I looked up to. The world just shunned us away. The relatives, no one wanted to associate with you. You just looked like you didn't exist. That brought pain. The people that you used to welcome, you know, as Africans, we live in this extended family. People used to come home. You bring them in that space. They're not even willing to help you. You're this young person with the dreams. What do you do with your dreams then? It brings so much pain because you begin to see people for who they are. But then you don't blame them at the end of the day. Because I'm one person who is so hardworking. I just said, what can I do with something that's on the inside? In as much as I was going through the pain, I said, I'm not just going to sit and throw a pity party here and begin to cry, because that won't change anything. It won't wake up my parents. I've got a life to live. And because I understood from an early age that I was called for a purpose, that I indeed had people that were assigned to me, that had something to offer the world. Growing up as a child, I knew I was an extraordinary child from the way I just articulated issues. So it's very, very important that I needed to progress. I started just to sell things, order and resell. Then I lost my brother. This one really hit so hard because in that moment, the person that got to murder my brother was not just a stranger. This is a person who used to welcome home. Imagine a person, you open the home, you welcome them, and what do? They stab you in the back. This was a very, very intelligent young boy by then. Then his life is cut short by not just a stranger. This is a relative. Then how do you handle that? It brings pain because this is the person that you're. So all that pain began to build up. We are not even exposed by then to therapy and all that. And I said, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. Like I earlier mentioned to say, I used to have a cycle, like a 5 years pattern. This young lady pushing things, okay, things are gonna be okay. In that moment, the world resents you. All you have is the church people, and that's all, and your God in that moment. So pain comes in from so many things. So you can't go to uni, like so many things happen. Not until you begin to search. Then you're growing, you meet this person thinking, oh, this person is the one. Oh, you've been planning the next thing. They just says you're not the one. They call, oh, you're about to get engaged, but then they just says, no, I've decided you're not the one. What do? It's your first love experience. All that brings so much pain. So imagine all those pains that were unprocessed and all that. Then I remember sitting down to say, there's so much pain. What did I do to deserve all this? I told myself, I'm going to sit down and introspect. Where is this coming from? I told myself, I'm going to take personal responsibility. And one of it, especially from the relationship that broke off, I said, it takes two to tango. I'm not going to call like what other people will call a person a dog or what. I'm going to see what didn't I do well? What are some of the things that I needed to work on? Because like I said, if you've got anger or bitterness and you don't get healed or resolve those things, they're sending a signal. So it has to take for one to be able to identify those, blame the whole world. Meanwhile, the problem is actually on the inside of you. I began with prayer, then I got revelations that I needed to work on me. I began on a journey and I said, I'm not going to be committed in anything. I began my journey of healing. I said, who then can I seek help from? I sought professional help. And I began to see that I had so much pain. I thought I'd healed because time had gone, but then I'd not healed. When the moment I was exposed to things through therapy, I began to see some of the things that cost my life. The anger, the bitterness. I built this self-mechanism, and I built this wall to say, I was in control, like I really wanted to control a man in a relationship because of what I was exposed to, the environment where I saw women being abused, my cousins, my aunties and all that. And I said, I'm not gonna go through that. I didn't realize that affected who I was because the environment shapes us, it affects us. Also all that. So when I went on this journey of healing, because I came to learn there is a place called wholeness, which is beyond healing. And it is a journey. It's not something that you rush through. So in that journey, one has to take personal responsibility, accept your mistakes, accept things that are beyond you, beyond your control, like death and other things. You're not what people say about you. So the moment I accepted that, I began to work on those areas. I accepted that, and when I took on a journey, it wasn't very easy. It was like one day at a time. And I'm so grateful that I had great people, a great support system. I had great mentors who took me. They were able to see beyond what I could see. They journeyed with me. I never even felt like I was an orphan. I attained the place of wholeness, because what wholeness does is when you are healed, when you are made whole, you begin to face the people that hurts you. You greet them because you come to understand that the people that hurt you were also probably hurt, and they didn't just heal, the broken people. You begin to see, because when you are healed, it's like the filters are clear. You begin to see life clearly. You begin to see people for who they are, because and also the pain is gone. The problem is gone. I remember being at a place that I started to look for the pain. It was no longer there. I was healed from that pain. It was no longer there. Then I purposed to say, I want to help people, because a lot of people out there are so bitter, they're so locked in the past. I was intentional about who I was becoming, and also it's very critical that when you are healed and you attend the place of wholeness, because wholeness is a quality of life. You find that you don't go back to the environment, to the things that hurts you. You become cautious of who you are becoming. You begin to build boundaries, because boundaries are for you, not others. Boundaries are to protect you. You are guarding what you carry. And when you are healed, you begin to see greatness. You begin to see purpose. It becomes clear. Then you also begin to appreciate that what you went through was part of the process. The process is meant to be gone through. Most of us don't want to go through the process. We admire the results, but we're not willing to submit to the process. We look at people out there, we admire the people out there, but then we're not willing. As we come to the close of the year, you may have been stuck in that pain. I don't know what you've gone through. It may be an engagement that was called for. It may be a chronic illness that you were told, and maybe there's no cure for it. That's not the end of the world. There is hope. You may be carrying for years excess, and it has hindered you from becoming who you're supposed to be. And because you were created for a purpose, and with a purpose, there are people that are assigned to you. But because you are blinded in that pain, in that anger, in that bitterness, which has been building, because it's not been addressed, that you keep on blaming. You see the people that hurt you flourishing. You feel so bad. You want to go and kill them. There's a person who, even after 30 years being hurt, they want to pursue a lawsuit to go and get that person that abused them. That person was young, but they don't even remember what happened. They've moved on. That's right. Because what we desire mostly is we want to see the people that hurt us suffer. And when they don't suffer, what does it do to us? It even hurts us more. You are in your prison. You are in a prison. You've put yourself in a prison. One of the things that I also learned is as long as we are on earth, people will offend us. Why? A lot of people out there are so bitter. You can tell even from the comments that you see on social media. You're able to identify, once you get to a place of wholeness, you're going to see with a certain lens, you'll be able to identify people that are broken. You're able to say this one, even if they're writing this, they're broken. You're going to see these patterns as I begin to discuss unaddressed issues and the patterns that they bring that affect our today. So you find that people, it's not what happened to you or who hates you, it's the response that you give to it. In NLP, like I'm a licensed NLP practitioner, which is a neuro-linguistic programming, we say no one hurts you, it's the meaning you attach to it. If I say, Rosette, you are ugly, and if you don't know who you are, you're not aware of who you are as Rosette, and you've got unaddressed issues, maybe you've got issues to do with self-esteem, the anger begins to build. You begin to say, oh, they think like this and this of me. It is you who's giving meaning, because now thoughts are coming, and now you, like negative thoughts, they start coming. I learned that there is a difference between healing and wholeness. I learned that beyond healing, there's a place called wholeness, which I desire and every one of us on the call to attain. When we are healed, the problem is gone. We'll start to look for it, and it will be gone. We'll start to look for the pain will be gone. You have to make a personal decision. Like I said, healing is a personal decision. Maybe some of us are waiting for someone to help us get healed. They cannot help you if you're not willing to be helped. It has to start from you. It has to start from you. I also learned that wholeness translates in a quality of life that you can only give. Once you are healed, you find that you can only give that quality of goodness to the outside world. There's so much going on in the world there. There's so much things you need to become aware of who you are, what triggers you, so that you build a boundary, you protect yourself, and you walk in the journey of that wholeness. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey. You're going to dream again. The dreams will come alive again, the things that you dreamt. So quickly, I would like to talk about the patterns, example of patterns, about 5 patterns and what they do if we don't get healed. So what the different patterns do to us and what they result in. That the pattern of anger, it may be rooted in feeling powerless to protect yourself or another from abuse. So maybe in the past, because something angered you, so you built like a mechanism. So you feel that if you thought you were okay, but that begins to build into a pattern and you didn't realize. And most of the people, they don't even realize, and they begin to say, this is the way I am. Like I said, no one was born bitter. When we are born with a clean slate. But then life begins to happen. So you can't say, some people even say, this is the way I am. No, it's because something happened to you which you didn't address. And now you don't even recognize. A pattern of control, grasping, overpowering others. We find that people just want to be bullies, to overpower. So it's because something, maybe a traumatic event happened, maybe a loss that was beyond their control happened. So because they didn't address that, this develops into a pattern of them wanting to over control things. It could be at work, it could be at a relationship, and this really can cost you friendship and relationship if you don't work in that area. A pattern of self-criticism, which most of the people fall into. A lot of people fall into this one. Self-loathing, self-harming behaviors may be rooted in shame and contempt of yourself, causing or deserving abuse that you endured. Maybe you went through a different types of abuse. It could be sexual or just physical abuse and all that. A pattern of lust, promiscuity, impurity may be rooted in the deep need to be seen or validated or valued by a man. So it could be maybe there was an absentee parent or authority figure, a grandfather, a brother, or a father. So now you want to seek validation from a man. So you find that even these patterns, begin to observe them, even as you do friendships and relationships. I want us to be very cautious as when we end the show to begin to check ourselves. I'm sure we're able now to relate to where we fall and why we behave. We don't just behave. No, something happened which we ignored, which has led for us to behave the way we behave. Pattern of negativity towards others or judgment of others. There are people who never see good in anyone. No matter what you do, there are people who just never. So this is rooted in the need to protect self from the harsh criticism one may have had, maybe from a parent or a guardian or a caregiver that took care of themselves. So it's very, very important. So those are the patterns. Now, as we approach the end, we need to pick our battles ourselves, pick battles. Because if you don't pick your battles, the enemy will emotionally drag you and you will lose control. Because every time a person says something negative, you're going to react, not even respond. So it's very, very critical that we pick up our battles. In closing, ask yourself, do you want to end the year as a bitter person or a person who seeks healing? That you make a decision to be healed. There is hope. Healing is available. It is available. The only thing it needs is you to acknowledge that you need it. Only a sick person can go and see the doctor when they know, because when you're really, really sick, you won't even wait for anyone to tell you. You go and seek the professional help. So emotional wounds actually are very, very critical. You don't want to carry baggage next year. Let this be a turning point for you. For years, you've been in that space. You've been waiting for that person that hurts you to come and say sorry. So what happens if they don't say sorry, if they'll never come? Are you willing to live another 10 years with that baggage stuck in that corner and not become who you are supposed to be? Healing is available. Make a decision today to be healed as you go on a journey of wholeness, because it's a beautiful journey. It is a quality of life that you'll meet the people that hurts you. You'll pray for the people that hurts you. You'll begin to see the people that hurts you and you will give them a hug. Then you'll be wondering, it's really me who felt this. You begin to pinch yourself because this is how you know you've attained. Because I met the person that hurts me and I helped them. I prayed for them. It really helped me. This is how I know. So I know what this really means. I know I'm not talking from without. I've shared my story. I've been through pain. I am a testimony of healing and wholeness. And that's why I'm a champion of this. Today, I'm here to speak to you, to say, don't end the year, another year carrying excess luggage. Thank you.